Hi, I'm Jonathan Kutsevetsky. We are filming a new video from IBC Studios. We're interviewing Rich Zabel from Diversified. Rich, tell me about yourself.
Hey there, Jonathan. Good to see you again. I'm Rich Zabel. Been with Diversified about 2 years. I run the media supply chain discipline here, which we cross over the entire organization, which we're vertically oriented from a sales perspective, but from media supply chain, we work with all the different verticals, whether it be house of worship, sports, or federal government.
Great. And Dalet and Diversified have been a partner for quite a while. Could you describe our partnership?
Yeah, the partnership goes well beyond my time here, but it really expanded quite well in the last year and a half that I've been here. I've done some really large projects together, including Middle East Broadcast Network, Monumental Sports. We're actually finishing up phase two, literally as we speak. We'll be done next week. And the customer keeps coming back with additional phases and opportunities for both of us to continue to expand the system. It started as a regional sports network and now is also included the arena, which is part of the Monumental family of holdings, the
Well,
Capital One
Monumental,
Arena. Yeah.
yeah, Monumental was a great project. What kind of value do you believe our collaboration brings to groups like Monumental and other broadcasters?
So, Monumental being a brand new regional sports network, it goes into the category of they don't know what they don't know, and they don't know what they do and don't need. So, utilizing professional organizations like Diversified as a systems integrator and one of the top tier media asset management systems in Dalet gave them the opportunity to do what they needed as the design was in flight. With many of the MAM systems out there, they're kind of in a can and in a box, and it is what it is. With the Let, the thing we love about it the most is the orchestration capabilities and the flexibility to change as the customer's needs change. And we can go back in and rescript things and adjust the system almost to an infinite level of adjustment that makes it really head and shoulders above other products that are out there today.
What are activities that Dalit offers to Diversified to get them to understand more about our products so that Diversified can support us in implementation and also training and other things like that?
So actually, there's an initiative that's been underway, and we're near completion in a couple of fronts. So Dalet has uh, decided to go deep into the market, and which would be in some cases down market, in some cases into different segments of the market. And professional services, like many vendors, is one of the things that is the hardest to do when you start expanding your business dramatically because you only have so many people that are experts. So we've sent three of our solutions architects to, let's call it Dalet School, and it's been a online learning process, and we're really happy with the results that we're getting, and we believe Dalet's happy with the results that we're getting as well. What it'll allow us to do is take on more of that responsibility for the professional services, the implementation, and the standing up of a Dalet system. That gives us a couple of capabilities. One is to not only deal with customers in the scale of a monumental sports, but it also brings us into different segments of the market that Diversified will be able to do the complete commissioning and standing up and training on a Dalet system for smaller customers, hence saving them money, saving them time, and making us both more effective in the world.
Amazing, Rich. How do you see our partnership helping shape the future of broadcasting and the media industry?
It's been a over the years, that not every relationship is always just hugs and kisses. Sometimes the relationships get rocky. The relationship has been just fantastic since Santiago came in on at the top of Dalet. We've seen tremendous amount of change. The changes he's made in leadership, the changes he's made in the attitudes of the employees and the company, and the way that Dalet now looks at relationships with systems integrators like Diversified has changed dramatically in the last year since Santiago came on board. We appreciate him in his role and a lot of the new leadership that he's hired on. Eric has been doing a great job in taking others and rearranging the deck chairs. Our relationship with Fred and Jerry and Mario, just it gets deeper every day. It's been really a great relationship. It's no longer just a systems integrator vendor relationship. It's truly becoming a partnership.
Thanks, Rich. From your perspective, what are the key success factors in building a strong technology alliance?
Transparency, right? Transparency is one of those things that we look at from a key value perspective. With vendors, there's always a give and take in what's needed, what needs to be said, what can be said, what can't be said. With a partner, the transparency is there. We have very open and honest conversations that we know the good things and we know the things that we need to avoid, right? Because there always are things that need to be avoided in some customer opportunities and customer deployments. So with the renewed level of transparency that's become part of the DNA at Dalet, it's really helped us mature the relationship and bring it to new levels.
So partnership aside, like we're very excited to be partnering with Diversified, but you're also an industry leader. What do you see as the biggest disruptions in the media and broadcast industry these days?
Well, certainly the cloud has been disruptive in a lot of ways, and there's some customers that ran to the cloud immediately and others that have been taking a wait and see attitude. We're finding that more and more systems today are being built as hybrid solutions. Customers who wanted to do the early adopters into the cloud environment, sometimes they're finding cloud has its place and the cloud has its advantages to being flexible. You can stand it up quickly. You can change your mind of what your business objectives and your workflows. But then there are things like storage on the ground and in the cloud sometimes makes sense to be very hybrid. And also for resiliency and redundancy, doing hybrid systems we're finding is a go forward for us. We'll build on-prem solutions. We'll build cloud-only solutions. But with Dalet, most of the systems that we're putting together now are hybrid solutions, which we're finding is the right sweet spot for the customers. The other introduction of AI services into the MAM environment, some of the partnerships that Dalet has actually brought to us. One of the ones is Deep VA, and we've found a new appreciation for that partnership. And the relationship that we're having as a triangle at this point is fantastic. But some of the advancements that we see Dalet working on and announcing in the AI world. At IBC, we saw Dahlia, which is still early days, but we're really excited about the Dahlia and where it's going to be short and long term. We see some changes in just mindset of a way a customer will work with a MAM system.
So what kind of AI do most of your customers use? Face recognition, object recognition, usually for sports and things like that?
So we're finding that right now for us, it is about the recognition side, right? It's not about the generative AI as much. There's still some generative AI that's happening, but things like facial recognition, voice recognition, taking the transcript of multiple languages in some cases or a single language and laying it into the metadata has been valuable for the customers to be able to really take advantage of not only the video they're working on today or the assets they're working on today, but going back and looking into their archives and running those AI scripts against their archives. Suddenly there's a new appreciation, a new value to their archives. In a lot of cases, the metadata and the taxonomy was very thin, so hard to find. And now with the advent of AI integration into these systems, it makes things easy to find, easy to utilize, and becomes non-repetitive, right? But you don't have that favorite clip that we always use as B-roll. Now we've got lots of B-roll because we can go find lots of B-roll that we couldn't find in the past. We have a number of conversations with customers like, how do you find things in your archive? And typically somebody's first name comes to mind for them first. Well, we go to Will, or we go to Jane, or we go to Jimmy, and they know where things are and what shelf they're on, or what file format they're in, or what folder they're in inside of our storage systems. So with the advent of AI and some of the orchestration tools that Dalet offers, we find that changes the dichotomy. It changes the way people use their archives.
Yeah, we're noticing metadata enrichment is definitely a key factor for a lot of our customers. They have all this content in the system, and like, how do they find it, and how do they make it discoverable? And that's really important. On the line of AI, though, we're finding that audiences are increasingly fragmented. What kind of AI strategies do you see working best to reach and engage them?
In the world of AI, language has always been a barrier, and the fact that we can use AI to take down that barrier of language, we can do things, search in multiple languages or search cross language. It helps the customers in the post production world utilize what their assets are much better because they can find things. We're working on a project now that the customer wants to be able to go in and take an individual person and find assets when they're talking about a specific topic, whether it be automobiles or technology or finance or whatever it is. Being able to go in and use the AI tools to find those keywords and those key sentences is invaluable. Beyond that, we're finding many customers are using AI to stitch together a pre-edit before they actually send it to the human editor for finalization. What we want to do with AI is take the mundane out of the world. Take the editor that's going to sit there and go through hours and hours of video looking for just that right piece to include in their edited package and make them creative or use their creative skills more than the mundane go search and sort and find capabilities.
With the birth or the adoption of AI in media workflows, what are skills that new journalists or new... But
sorry about that.
No worries, no worries.
Let me turn that off.
Okay, let's do that again. With the adoption of AI inside of the media industry, what kind of skills can people just entering the media market learn and be successful in this industry that's infused with AI?
Well, from an editor perspective, which at the end of the day, what we're really doing is servicing the editors, the creative people in a lot of cases. It allows them to think about the world in a different way. When they're looking at the results that they're looking for, they can creatively search many different aspects of their environment with the advanced AI capabilities. They don't have to know everything they need to know about their environment. They can go find things very quickly and easily, not only within their environment, but then be able to take advantage of elements that are outside of their environment and start using data from the world very efficiently to make their jobs more creative. I don't know if I answered that correctly, but
okay, so first we had radio, well, print, then radio, then television, and then new media or social media came about. Today, what are new revenue models do you see emerging for broadcasters and content owners?
We're seeing that the customers are not only single-threaded, right? In the past, whether it be a broadcaster or a corporate customer, they always thought in terms of a single delivery. And the single delivery was a piece of video that was going to go to a specific delivery method. Sometimes that was OTT, sometimes that was Teams, sometimes it was internal communication, or sometimes it was television. Now, all of our customers are thinking three-dimensionally, right? They're thinking, what am I going to do with this video? How can I capitalize on the investment I've made and not only deliver a television 16:9 image, but now how do I deliver it to 3 or 4 social media platforms simultaneously by using some automated tools to take that 16:9 and make it into 9:16 or square or different aspect ratios. Change the language automatically and redistribute. Change the duration of a video for the different platforms. So the customers are thinking, how do I monetize my investment? How do I monetize my valuable assets in different ways and find ways to make more money with just what they used to be able to make from a single stream?
Interesting. Yes, definitely. And with automation and orchestration, of course, we can produce a lot of these things automated in an automated fashion, and also benefiting from AI. You can start to choose shots that are good, find things from the archive, and also deliver content to these new revenue streams. What do you see as the biggest opportunities for media companies to innovate in the next decade?
Next decade's a long time.
It's
When
a
you start looking at Moore's law, if I had that crystal ball, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be making billions of dollars.
yes.
I think media companies are going to continue to evolve into more multiple streams simultaneously. They're going to have to morph their business into looking at different delivery timeframes, different delivery methods, and looking at the different audiences that are out there. I think that's the biggest opportunity for a lot of the companies that are in the media space is how do I deliver to all of the different age groups that are out there? How do I get my global footprint instead of a single footprint on a single continent? When you look at some of the sports leagues, where are they going? They're going international. The NFL 10 years ago wouldn't have even thought about having a game in Europe or in South America or Mexico. Today, every single year, there's more and more games. Major League Soccer 3 years ago, 4 years ago, did not have a significant presence from a brick and mortar perspective and a large staff in the US. As you've looked at the World Cup evolving more and more into this market, you've looked at MLS evolving more and more into this market. MLS has got a huge footprint and they're continuing to grow. They're on their second headquarters inside of 3 years because they're bursting at the seams. So from that perspective, things are growing dramatically in the sports world. It's the one thing that we still have that's still got the highest value live sports that are out there.
What kind of evolution of live sports do you see happening for things like the World Cup or the Olympics that are coming on?
Multi-platform is the name of the game. So how do I deliver the live event to my consumer wherever they are, whenever they are, and get to them on the right device? Yeah. Years ago, we could always only think of television as appointment-based and something, television was a thing on the wall, not a thing in your pocket anymore, right? Which it is today. So now when you're sitting on an airplane or you're sitting on a train or you're in a passenger seat of a car, you can consume things that you couldn't consume in the past. And when you're consuming them more as an individual than as a group. Right? If I want to follow an individual player, I can do that. PGA today takes every single player, every single shot to the consumer, and you can watch your individual player as opposed to watching what the TD or the director decides you're going to watch. So the individuality of the video and the data that goes along with that, all of that rich metadata, the stats data, looking at the investment that MLB has made in stats is staggering compared to what they had. I think I heard a number, it was 245 data points a second that they're taking out of a baseball game and being able to consume that and utilize that for their consumers and for their archives.
Well, Dalet's in a lot of these groups, sports organizations, and we import stats and we do ingest and production, etc. But we also believe in open architecture. What is your view on interruptibility and open architecture for a media asset management solution? Why is that important?
It's the cornerstone, right? So there are some of the competitors to Dalet that are trying to put things in a very specific box, and everything is in a box as opposed to an open architecture box. Dalet, the way we view Dalet and the way I believe Dalet views the world is open is positive. Open is the only way to go. And through that process, we have Dalet actually bringing us partnerships with companies like DeepVA and Veritone and saying, here are companies that are open to us. They're not exclusive, but we're finding the best of breed for our customers and for our systems integration partners and bringing them along to opportunities. That research, that development, that API integration that Dalet is doing in advance of the customer demanding it is invaluable to us.
When a customer wants to buy a solution, they look out and they find the best solution for them, but they're looking now. They're also looking ahead and like, what can they do to future-proof their operations if they buy such a system like a MAM or the services of Diversified? How do they future-proof their solution?
Well, one of the things we do is we don't actually sell products, we sell solutions. And it sounds a bit corny and a little bit, contrived, but when a customer comes to us and wants to solve a problem, we listen. And Dalet, as a partner of ours, listens very well and decides what are the right solutions, short and long term, for the customer's objectives. Not always easy to do. Sometimes it's easy to just say, here's a quick solution and let's move on. Put it together and move on. We spend a lot of time together with Dalet. We spend a lot of time with our customers writing down exactly what it is they want to do today and tomorrow to make sure that we have an open architecture that can satisfy today's needs and tomorrow's needs, and not find a end of a road in 18 months or 24 months. Perfect example of that is the work we're doing with Monumental Sports right now. Monumental Sports is on phase 2, and we're actually already talking about phase 3 of the project. And there's no places that we're finding a roadblock because of all the advanced planning we did together 2 years ago with the inception of this project.
Yeah, Monumental has been a great project for both of us, and the technology they're using behind the scenes is amazing with remote production and integrating things such as sports radar and other technologies into their solution. So we're very grateful for Diversified's help, and we thank you for this interview. One final question for you. What do you think the health of the industry is, the media industry right now?
I think that the industry as a whole is very healthy, and the industry is going to continue to grow. The companies that are in the industry, there's question marks, right? So there are companies like Dalet and Diversified that are open to change, that are keen to understand what the future is bringing for cloud, different types of IP solutions, different things that are going to change the industry as we go forward. There are companies out there, whether it be a Dalet competitor or a Diversified competitor or some of the other vendors that are out there, that are trying to stay inside of their box. And a lot of those boxes are very hardware centric, and hardware centric boxes, I think, could be dinosaurs at one point in time, not in the too distant future. The systems that we're building today have to be agile, they have to be flexible, they have to be very software defined in order to change with the customer's needs over time.
Thank you so much, Rich, for your advice and your explanation of the market for us. We wish you a good week, and we look forward to working with Diversified in future projects.
Looking forward to working with Dalet on many, many projects to come.
Thank you, Rich.
Thanks, Jonathan.